All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their Saturday, having a nice weekend, trying to get away from Lakers basketball for a couple of days, and then here I am, coming back in with some more content. You're like, wait, Al, I thought you just said let's get away from Lakers basketball, guys. I'd like to introduce a new show here to Hoops Talk. This is Hoops Talk Weekly, episode number one. Um, the idea and the concept is every Saturday, I'm going to put out some content. It could be me. It could be me with somebody else. It could be somebody else altogether. But the concept of this show, Hoops Talk Weekly, is to have a once a week show that is really just trying to find the most interesting topics from the week, the latest, most current, relevant topics around Lakers basketball, and we're going to discuss it. We're going to do it every Saturday. The only time I won't do it on a Saturday is if the Lakers play on a Saturday. So I just want to make sure if the Lakers don't play on a Saturday, I'm going to post a Sunday. If the Lakers don't play on a Sunday, I'm going to post a Saturday. I just want to make sure that it's an off day for the weekend so we can kind of gather as much stuff that we want to talk about. I got three things that I want to talk about in today's show. And I think all three of them, by the way, this is going to be probably most of the structure is going to be like this, where I find three topics that I like. First topic, how big of a problem do the Lakers have right now? Second topic, how does Darvin Ham turn things around? If it is going to be Darvin Ham, what does he got to do? And then the latest on some of the Zach LaVine stuff, the trades. That's always a fun topic to be around, and I'll spend a little time doing that as well. So those are the three topics that we're going to get into. Again, brand new show, Hoops Talk Weekly, for episode number one. It's me on my own, making it happen, rolling up my sleeves and talking Lakers basketball. But I want a rotating chair on this weekly show. I want to have other people on. I want to have other guests on. And I also, like I said, I want to have literally somebody else host the show. And I'm going to just kind of keep it as fresh as possible. Does not have to be me. Just trying to make sure that we're putting out Lakers content for you guys and making sure it's something that you guys like. Okay, so let's start with this. Ugly stretch. I don't need to tell Laker fans just how bad it's been for the Lake Show here over the course of these last couple of weeks. We all know that. Almost a month now since they won that in-season tournament. They are 3-10 in their last 13 games. Everybody knows the stats. If you're looking at the standings like I was yesterday, when I did the post-game show, so I wasn't able to do it live, but still posted it anyways a couple hours after the game. But 17-19 on the season. Lakers right now, if the playoffs started, yeah, they ain't in the mix. I'm talking about they're not even in the mix, like the play-in tournament. Not even in the mix, which is kind of crazy to say, but that's the situation that the Lakers are in right now. It's been a complete free fall. I don't know what the answer is. But when I propose a question of how big of a problem do the Lakers have, this is the point that I'm trying to make. The problem right now is it's not all about basketball. I don't feel like the issue is, we see it a lot of times in sports where it's, man, if this team can just start hitting threes, they'll be fine. Or they got to improve their defense. And if they improve their defense, you know what, things can start turning around. Or health is an issue. And if they can just get their guys back, then they'll be just fine from a health perspective. You can make that case. I mean, I guess if you want to say that Rui and D'Angelo Russell, once those guys come back, everything will start changing. The problem is Rui's been in the lineup they've been losing. D'Lo's been in the lineup they've been losing. Vando's been in the lineup they've been losing. Cam Reddish. Go down the list of all the players that have been kind of in and out of the lineup. Whether you had them or you didn't, you're still losing games. Now, of course, it would add an incredible depth. I think having D'Angelo Russell back, another playmaker, from a shooting perspective, a threat from the outside, which the Lakers have not had a threat. The problem for the Lakers, it does not seem like this is all just basketball related. They seem like they have bigger issues, some internal issues. And I think for those that, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. You guys know my personality well enough. I'm not trying to create drama where there isn't drama. I don't need to, try to do things. And, well, if I do this and I say this and it sounds extreme, then you know what? People are going to get clicks on it. Hey, it works, but it's just not me. So that's not going to be me. But I do feel like the Lakers, there are some – it sounds like to me there are more than just basketball issues, some internal issues. Maybe it's guys just simply complaining about their playing time, but that's not good. Maybe it's guys just completely complaining about the rotation. That's not good. Maybe it's agents out there that are communicating this stuff, or maybe it's players as well that are communicating this stuff to Shams Charania or to Jovan Buha of The Athletic, which, we talked a little bit about over these last couple of days. But whatever it is, that's not good news. It's not good news for your team. When the conversation starts steering away from the actual basketball side of things, when it starts becoming more about an individual player than a team, when everybody's looking out for their own self-interest more than the team, that's a problem. I don't know how deep the issue is. I don't know how big of a problem it is up to this point, but we're almost starting to talk less about the basketball now, and we're starting to talk more about, does Darvin Ham have the ears of the guys? Is Darvin Ham on a night in, night out basis when he talks, how engaged is everybody? Now, I don't have an answer for you. I don't. But I think that's the what we're trying to figure out right now. Is this just simply the Lakers in a bad stretch of basketball where it just doesn't figure, they can't hit a three? Other teams are balling out against them. Are they just hitting, is it just bad timing? Or is there a little bit more than that? And I think there's a little bit more than that. And I guess over these next couple of weeks, we're going to find out. Is that issue that the Lakers are dealing with, is it only going to get bigger, or is it going to start patching up a little bit? Is it going to start healing? Is that wound that the Lakers have, is it going to get infected? Or, hey, you know what? They're starting to take care of it, and winning is, it seems like it's the cure for everything right now, but they also doesn't look like they're going to be winning on a consistent basis based off the way that they have been playing. How big of a problem do the Lakers have? It's not a complete fire right now where everyone's running out of the house saying, that's it, the house is about to collapse. But there's definitely a room right now that is in fire or is on fire. And if it's not attended to, and if there aren't people paying attention to it in the next 5 minutes, then the whole house is going to go up in flames. I think that's what the month of January is. The month of January is going to determine a lot of that. You can feel that it's more than basketball. That's up to Darvin Ham to figure out. That's up to the players to figure out. That's up to Rob Pelinka and the front office to figure out. What the Lakers are right in the midst of, too, is they're 1 month away from the trade deadline. And we'll get into the trade deadline in a second. I mentioned some of the Zach LaVine stuff I want to get into. There was a report by Jake Fisher on a Bleacher Report that talked a little bit about there's some worry about Zach LaVine because of his contract. That's the same worry that I would have. But I'll get into that in just a second. But this is your window to figure it out. Laker fans, if just the month of January, they're not at 500, they're 2 games below 500. We see the way that they're playing. Let's say they're 5-6 games below 500. They go the other way. Instead of Lakers gaining ground, they just keep falling back the other way. All right, now you got to start asking yourself, is it worth making a trade? What trade are you going to make that's going to save the season? I know there's a lot of factors that go into this, and I'm not telling you that the Lakers start becoming sellers or anything like that. But how desperate do you get if things keep going the wrong way? I'm going to give you some optimism for a quick second. It takes 1 win to start turning things around. One win could start leading you towards momentum. Now, is it going to happen tomorrow against the Clippers? Okay, that's a big challenge right there. But who knows with this Lakers team? They're so all over the place that it could happen tomorrow against Clippers. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm saying that they're all over the place. That would you be shocked or surprised if tomorrow Lakers all of a sudden started balling out? I guess it can happen. But how big of a problem do the Lakers have? They got a problem. They got an issue. I don't think it's a complete fire sale and everything is, the house is going to burn to the ground. But it's not just basketball, and there are some internal issues. Now, I think this is the portion of the show that everyone might be most interested in when it comes to the Darvin Ham piece. This is what's happened to Darvin Ham in the last just 24 hours, okay? Darvin Ham yesterday, before the Lakers game, had to address his status if he's got the ears of the players. I'll read off the quote. This happened yesterday pregame. I'll sit right there. Jim Hill was right to my left. He asked the question addressing, these reports that were out there. He said, I'm solid. My governor, Jeannie Buss, the boss lady, our president, Rob Pelinka, we're all lined. As long as they're not saying it, I guess I'm good, which I know how they feel about me and the situation that we're currently in. He's got to address this on January 5th, Friday night against the Memphis Grizzlies. Who would have thought that we'd be 35, 36 games in, and Darvin Ham has to address what his job status is with the powers that be. He went on to talk about the reporting that was done out there. I'll read some of it. Again, this is pregame before Lakers are taking on the Grizzlies. This is what we're talking about. Not basketball, not what's going on the court. Not Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Marcus Smart. We're talking about this. He says that, gives an example. He says, I don't want to disrespect anybody in the room, but when you say the source is anonymous by choice and that they don't want to put their name on something, but they want to give you the information, they want to take the information out, everybody gets a chance to dissect it and spread it all out in the way or in their own way, it's kind of disingenuous. And I wish we could all get to a place where people are firm enough to stand on what they're saying, and then maybe we can have real dialogue and get to it. I don't mind people critiquing the job I'm doing. All I'm going to do is keep my head down and continue to do my job until I can't do it anymore. Again, I'm gonna go back to this. Think about the conversation that we're having before the Lakers are about to play the Memphis Grizzlies. It has nothing to do with the basketball game. Nothing. That's not good. It's not good. Because now there are distractions for the team. Now there are your players. Now there are reporters. Now there's front office, coaching staff, fans, people that do. Oh, close one. Close one there. Almost sneezed, Laker fans. People that are on radio all the time or on YouTube. I mean, you guys know what my rule is. I got a mic in front of me all the time. Of course I'm reacting to all this stuff. You got all these different people that now have an opinion, and they're talking about things that have nothing to do with basketball, and these are distractions. And for a team that's desperate to get wins, that's the last thing that you want to talk about. I'll go back to my question about Darvin Ham, and he said some stuff post-game that I thought was interesting too. What does Darvin Ham need to do to turn this thing around? Because right now the scrutiny and the spotlight is on Darvin Ham. It's not on Cam Reddish. It's not on Jared Vanderbilt. It's not on Rui or D'Lo or Reaves or Christian Wood. It's not on these guys. Yes. Is there a lot of attention towards LeBron? Yes. Anthony Davis, probably less because AD's been just so freaking good all year. What the hell are you going to say about Anthony Davis? But the attention is really on Darvin Ham and LeBron James, but primarily Darvin Ham. How does Darvin Ham get the team back where it needs to be? How does Darvin Ham, when I put a message out to Laker fans that says, what do you think, situation, where they are, all that stuff? And I feel like 80% of the comments are geared towards Darvin Ham, and they're not positively. How does he gain the momentum back? I'm going to read you one quick quote here from last night post-game, and then I'm going to get to what the solution is. He says, I'm tired of people living and dying with every single game we play. It's ludicrous. Actually, come on, man. It's a marathon. He kind of walked out for there. He was done. He looked like he was a little ticked off. Darvin's got to win the room back. And I'm not talking about the media. I'm talking about his players. I'm talking about what he does on the floor during games, his adjustments during games. I'm talking about him tightening his rotation, feeling more confident what he's running with, and then seeing some results to it. Because if the Lakers start winning games and we start crediting Darvin Ham because, wow, that was a really smart play. Wow, I love the execution that the Lakers had there. Wow, I love how they created a diversion. They didn't use LeBron and they did this. Wow, I like that his rotation's been consistent. Wow, I like that at the end of games, because Darvin Ham called a timeout and called this play, this was the difference. Oh, wow, I like that this player was hot on the opposing team, and this is what Darvin Ham did to stop that. He's going to have to start winning people over because of what he's doing during a basketball game. He's going to have to start winning people over because people are sitting there saying, hey, Darvin Ham had a big reason to do why the Lakers won that game. And I don't know how confident people are, to be honest with you, that he's able to do that and that he's going to do that. I have no idea. But I would lean towards people are less confident that that's going to happen. Final thing I'll say here on Darvin Ham, the way he turns things around. You're going to need your players to start talking about you and having your back. What I need to hear more of in the postgame show or from some of these players is this chatter is ludicrous about Darvin Ham. The dude knows what he's doing. The dude's not going anywhere. And that's our leader, and we're going to follow him. And all this other BS reporting that's going on, like there's a problem or issue in the locker room, is just strictly BS. We got his back. Everybody's got his back. And we roll up our sleeves and we go to work every night playing for Darvin Ham. That's the only way this starts quieting down. Players got your back. You start winning games. You start getting credit for winning some of those games. That's the only way this thing turns around. That's the only way Darvin Ham stops being the topic of a conversation. You know, in sports, if I know who the referee is, that referee probably had a bad day. If I'm talking this much about a head coach, it means the head coach probably is not doing his job, or all the attention is on the head coach, and most likely it's not positive attention. So those are some of the things that I look at in regards to Darvin Ham and how important it's going to be for him to turn it around. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and I know how Laker fans feel about the situation, how they feel about Darvin Ham, but I'm just trying to find some solutions, and for me, that's what it's going to take for things to turn around. Okay, final thing I want to get into. By the way, if I could remind everybody here real quick, if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, it would mean the world to me. If you come on this channel frequently, or even sporadically, or whatever the case is, when you do subscribe, it does help the channel. And I'd love nothing more than to continue growing this channel. Next goal is 25,000 subscribers. We're kind of closing in around 24. And if you don't mind just spending a quick second of subscribing, I'd appreciate that. Okay, latest on some of this Zach LaVine chatter. I've said this before. I'm not crazy about a Zach LaVine trade to the Lakers. Who knows? Maybe that changes with what the hell is going on now. Maybe I start becoming desperate. But Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, my apologies. I think I said Bleacher Report in the beginning. Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, when I was first promoting some of what we were going to get into. So Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. I'm going to read something that came out a couple days ago. Actually came out yesterday. Lakers hesitant to complete a LaVine trade because of his contract terms. So Zach LaVine, if you guys don't know, is making a lot of money with the Chicago Bulls. All good. This is, what happens. Players that are athletic, that are at the right age, teams got to spend money. Some teams got to overpay, whether that quality is there or not. You got to spend your money. Zach LaVine is owed a lot of money. Read something here from Jake Fisher. The market for Bulls all-star guard Zach LaVine still has been quiet as interested teams remain reluctant to absorb the 4 seasons and roughly $180 million remaining on his contract. LaVine is trending towards a return Friday from a week-long absence due to his right foot inflammation. So obviously he's coming back. The struggling Lakers do forecast as the most sensible landing spot for the 28-year-old former All-Star, even though Los Angeles, too, has so far indicated a hesitancy to take on LaVine's money, sources said. I'm not a fan of going after Zach LaVine, and part of that reason, first off, the guy gets injured as well, so it's not like he's healthy all the time. I'm not confident in life after LeBron James to be around Zach LaVine and Anthony Davis, and if somebody wants to sell me otherwise, then go ahead and try to sell me. Zach LaVine is also not known for being a great defender. Now, listen, he's an explosive player. He can create for his own. He's an offensive player. He can go off in any single game and drop you 35. So If you think that's what the Lakers need and that's the perfect fit, then that's up to the front office to determine it. But for me personally, I do have some hesitations on Zach LaVine. And what in return are the Chicago Bulls going to ask for? And maybe at this point, Laker fans are saying, well, who cares what they asked for? Look what's happening to the Lakers. That's the other problem with the Lakers playing so poorly is you got a squad and you got a team that also seems like they're a little desperate, right? They also seem like the Lakers seem like they're in a spot in a position right now where it's not just that the Lakers are losing, but they look LeBron's in his 21st season. You need to win right now. Everybody talks about how the Lakers need to win right now. There is some desperation. I don't think you could hide that. So I think there's a lot of factors that come into trying to make a Zach LaVine trade happen, but you got to think long-term as well. And if you think Zach LaVine is a long-term solution as well, I'm just not on that boat. That's not somebody that I feel like I want to see on the Lakers for the next 4 years. So that's the latest on that front, that there is some hesitation. It doesn't sound like just from the Laker perspective, but from a lot of teams out there. And like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of chatter and rumors around the Lakers because they are the Lakers, but also because of the predicament, the situation that they're in, and the fact that we're getting a little bit closer to the NBA trade deadline. 3 topics. We're going to do it every Saturday. Hoops Talk Weekly. Like I mentioned, there's going to be times I'm sitting here one-on-one with you guys. There's going to be times I'm going to have a guest on, and we're going to rap for as long as we want to go. And then there's going to be times where somebody else completely hosts Hoops Talk Weekly. The goal is just to put up more content. Saturday is the day that we're going to put it out. If Lakers have a game on Saturday, we're going to do it on Sunday. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tomorrow, after the Lakers take on the Clippers, we'll go live tomorrow for some post-game show reaction of the Lakers-Clippers game. Thank you, Laker fans. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys have a great rest of your